The welfare concerns associated with pig farming relate to the confinement systems in which they're kept and also to the husbandry procedures that they're subjected to. Gestation crates are the crates used to confine sows during their gestation period when they're pregnant, and farrowing crates are the crates used to confine them during the period after they give birth. On the positive side, they do allow individual monitoring, feeding, medicating if necessary, and they do protect the sows from any possible aggression from other sows. On the negative side, however, they prevent the fulfilment of most of the behavioural urges that sows are naturally motivated to perform. So the urges to use their snouts to forage in what would have naturally been the forest floor. In these highly restrictive barren enclosures in which they're kept with virtually nothing other than typically concrete and some metal bars, this behaviour becomes redirected, so they start to repetitively chew upon the bars and engage in other pathological oral nasal behaviours which are believed to indicate substantial stress. Because of the really serious animal welfare concerns that these practices cause, tethering has been banned in the European Union since 2006, and crates have been banned since 2013, except for the last week of pregnancy and the first 4 weeks after giving birth. Some sows are confined outdoors, for example in free-range systems, and these have the benefits. They have a lot more space, they can root and forage in the soil, they may have wallowing pits because the desire to wallow is something that sows are highly motivated to perform. But these systems aren't perfect either because they can expose the pigs to more severe weather extremes, they can expose them to worse hygiene. One of the behaviours that sows are most highly motivated to perform is to actually build a nest in which to give birth to their piglets. Now naturally sows would tend to leave the herd prior to giving birth, travel distances of up to 5 kilometres to gain privacy and seclusion, and start to hollow out a space in the ground, about 5 to 10 centimetres deep, line it with twigs, branches, leaves and grass, and create a bit of a roof with larger branches, and then they will go into their nest and seek to give birth. Now unfortunately, in the very confined barren environments in which they're kept on intensive pig farms, there is only a little bit of straw provided or typically none at all. So the sows are forced to give birth on literally the hard concrete floor. Another major welfare concern is the castration of male piglets. As these pigs become sexually mature, the male sex hormones tend to alter the flavour of the meat, producing something called boar taint, which is considered undesirable to consumers. So in order to prevent this, many pigs are actually castrated at an early age. This involves simply surgically removing the testicles, which is of course acutely painful, and unfortunately because of reasons of cost, painkillers are often not given during these procedures. Many European countries have signed up to the European Declaration on Alternatives to Surgical Castration of Pigs, which requires prolonged painkillers or anaesthetics to be given if pigs are being surgically castrated. And that needed to be implemented by 2012. And by 2018, the intention was that surgical castration would be ended completely. Unfortunately, however, as of 2018, compliance with this declaration remains very poor. Unfortunately, in other regions, this castration continues. The majority of pigs marketed in the United States, for example, are castrated. Piglets are typically collected together within same age groups and raised in pens, and these are also very barren, unenriched environments. Now these piglets are also highly motivated to perform exploratory behaviours using their snouts, and in these very barren environments they have to resort to chewing the bars of their enclosures and sometimes one another's tails. Now this can progress to tail biting, which can result in infections, so to try to prevent this, producers will commonly tail dock the piglets. So this means surgically removing part of the tails. Now this is also a very painful procedure. It involves cutting the nerves, and painkillers are often not provided. The ends of the tails typically recover from the procedure by developing a fibrous scar, and the nerve fibres which have been transected will tend to grow towards the fibrous scar, hit the fibrous scar, turn around and start to grow back upon themselves, forming a neuroma, a swelling of nervous tissue. This tends to discharge pain signals spontaneously, resulting in ongoing pain. Although in the United Kingdom it is a requirement that pigs are not tail docked routinely, but only when there's a problem, compliance with this is not very good. Pigs are highly intelligent creatures. They've got excellent long-term memories, they recognise one another as individuals, and they seem to be able to experience a wide variety of positive and negative emotional states, including things like stress, frustration, pain and fear. It's extremely unethical to keep these very intelligent and sensitive and social creatures confined in crates barely larger than their own bodies for weeks on end, and to raise them in barren environments where there is almost nothing for them to do.